Hi and welcome to the last video of this class. And I'm just starting out by just tracing the pattern paper, and I'm just going to stick it down with Mod Podge. And I must say this is a neat little trick that you can add just as a pattern paper. You can actually add pattern paper as a background as well. So, you know what, it's totally up to you. Then it becomes more of a mixed media project, but don't tell anyone. It's our secret. And then also, you can use the carbon paper and trace, just the vase. I'm just looking to see if the other side's not better, but I like this side the best. And I also love the idea that the three vase paintings have the same feel to it. See, now I'm just roughly, this is really fuzzy cutting around the edges of the painting. This is the lazy way to do it. And I'm just using Mod Podge and I'm just sticking it down. I am speeding this part up a little bit just because I have shown it a few times in the other paintings. So I am going to paint the edges, so I'm not too concerned to get it super, perfect, because I will paint them. So just a layer on the bottom and on top of the paper, and now we're going to proceed to just finish our last painting. Okay, so I am mixing just a little bit of phthalo green and in a little paper cup, and I'm just going around the edges and just painting in a few details. You can see I'm using a very small brush. This is probably a size 1 watercolor brush or a size 2. I like the watercolor brushes with longer tips. It's just a personal preference, especially when you paint on large surfaces, so I don't have to work super fine. You know what, I really think I want to do a watercolor class. Maybe you should let me know what you think of that. But I love watercolors, and watercolors have fueled my creative soul for the longest time, and it's the basics of all I do, my illustrations that I design, and I just love the whole process of it, So, okay, so one thing that I just wanted to say is you can actually make your own acrylic inks by just using heavy body acrylic paint and just adding water to it until it's in a liquid form that it can run. So if you have already, if your budget just can't do the inks as well, maybe get the white, and then the rest of it, we can figure out. But what I do find is that the acrylic inks lengthen the life of my paints tremendously, So I will use the titanium white, and then when you add any of the acrylic inks to it, it will just give you that lovely color, and it will just stretches it so much. So I just love it. Okay, and then just the white, you can see how opaque that white acrylic paint ink is. Hey, it's very opaque. Just love it. And as always, I love adding these details. You know what? This is what makes your painting interesting and fascinating. And this is the part that's so much fun to do and true therapy for the heart. That's just my take on it. So again, on the dark parts, I would add in details with a light paint like this one. And on the light parts, I would add in detail with dark paint. So it's that absolute play between light and dark and contrast and harmony. Honestly, that this is what painting is all about. Someone mentioned that they struggle with composition, and how do you get the composition of a painting just right. You know what, that is just such an intuitive process of just doing it and doing it and doing it and figuring it out what is pleasing to your eye. And I think I do take a lot of the guesswork out of the whole process just by, doing it for you. If you look at the painting in front of you, the composition is very pleasing. Well, in my opinion, you might disagree, which you can, of course you can. But, it's balanced. It's a very symmetrical type of composition. And it, the only thing that gives it a lot of drama is the background that is dark. So that maybe puts it a little bit just off kilter enough to create drama. But honestly, I'm not overly focusing on composition and balance in this class. I think it's just one of those things that comes with time and with experience, and I don't know, it's just such a natural process. That's one of the reasons why I like to use my palette, all over the canvas. So if I'm painting with green, I'll add green in various places, yellow, and I balance the colors. So it's not just all the colors in one spot. You can see what a big difference, right, the details make, especially on this painting. So I would really recommend that you don't skip over the details, but add them in, because this is really the best part of it, in my opinion. Okay, so it's coming together. I'm liking it more and more. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. I think all of them are my favorite. I don't know. It's hard. I would actually love to know from you which painting was your favorite and which painting that you painted of them was your favorite. So again, share with me your progress, your ideas, your thoughts on Instagram. Let's make that our class forum. You can message me a private message on Instagram, Wilna Furstenberg, or you can just hashtag paint class with Wilna and share with me, your images and your photos. I would just love, love, love to see. You know what? Again, remember that I would applaud you for painting with me, and don't ever feel self-conscious or that I'm going to judge it. I'm the least judgmental person that you've ever met. You can ask my children that, right, Jana? Yes. Okay, so I'm just painting the background again with a big brush, and I'm just smoothing it out even more. I was talking in a previous video of how I love texture, but sometimes I just want it to look, I don't know, put together and not. There's a difference between good texture and bad texture. I don't know how to explain that, but I'm just painting a little bit of quiet into the background here. And I'm using beautiful turquoise deep. So my one color that I would pick of all them all, this is the color that I would pick. Maybe that's why I'm painting all my backgrounds. Blue is just because it's my favorite. We have gone through such a journey in this workshop, and again, you'll only know the true value of it once you've put your hands on paint brushes and actually paint on the canvas. So I really want to encourage you again to start painting. I hope this class inspires. I hope it ignites a fire in you to paint. And I hope that you experience the absolute joy of painting and how it's therapy for the heart. And you know what? There's no way that you will know how much of a therapeutic session a painting is until you've actually sat down and made one. It is unbelievable and it's indescribable, the feeling that you have once a painting comes together. Every time you look at it, there's a feeling that ignites in you that is so satisfying and pleasing and harmonizing to a heart that you can't believe it. I really, really want to encourage you to paint with me. We have, once you've completed this course, you will have a very, very firm grip and understanding of acrylic paints. You will understand the colors better. You will understand how to mix colors. You will understand, just different painting techniques. Like I've said so many times, washes, impasto. You will understand blending. You will understand drawing, with paint. So it's all in all just such a wonderful class, in my opinion, to just learn the basics of acrylic paints, which is the tagline of this paint class 1 is basics in acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is incredibly forgiving. It is long suffering. It's quick drying, so you don't have to wait hours and hours for it to dry, to carry on, to move on. It is phenomenal for layering, and then in the end, when you do that final gloss finish, and you varnish your painting, it just captures the brilliance of the paint forever. So you truly give yourself the gift of painting when you do this class with me. You might not be very fond of flowers, but maybe just start here, and later on you can move on to other subject matter that means more to you, you know? So what I'm doing here is I'm integrating the pattern paper into my canvas by painting on it with parchment, that beautiful color, almost like a light gray, beige, and white. And all of a sudden, it doesn't look like you stuck a piece of paper on your canvas. It looks as if it's part of the canvas, right? So here you can see I painted a little bit more white. I painted a little bit more parchment at the bottom. And I love the way the lines form when you paint, you know, just not over them, but next to them. So you still honor the drippings, you know. Now I'm just painting with a little bit of gold ink, and I'm just painting a flourish in. So this is not in the drawing. This is something I'm doing, you know, after the fact. But what I like about the gold paint is just when you look at the painting at an angle, you see that tiny bit of shine, which is really, really lovely. So as I wrap up the last few minutes of this painting, you know, let me just say thank you. Thank you so much for joining with me in this class. Thank you for believing in me as a teacher, you know, to sign up for it. I cannot begin to tell you how much I appreciate you. I love teaching art, and because of a teacher, my life changed. Because of an art teacher, my life changed, and I really hope that I can just keep on paying it forward, whether it is with paintings, you know. My vision for teaching painting is to do paint class 2, maybe in watercolors, and maybe even a paint class 3 where we do big canvases, you know. So for me, this might just be the beginning of something so beautiful and new, and something that many people can relate to, you know. There might even be men that signed up for my class, I don't know. But, you know what, flowers is such a joyful subject. It's so great in its variety, you know. So I'm just so happy, you know, that you signed up for it. And I really, really hope you paint with me. Remember 2 things. Number 1, prime your canvas with gesso. And number 2, share your progress with me. # paint class with Wilna. Okay, I'm just adding a few paint splatters to my painting here, and you can see I'm just tapping lightly with a little bit of ink over my finger. You know, and this is the point where maybe it's good time to stop now. I love how this painting turned out. I love them all. I truly do. And then I'm just going over the outline of this vase, and I'm varying the width of my line, you can see there. And how you do it is just by applying pressure. So a little bit more pressure will make the line a little wider, and when you ease up under pressure, it will make it a little smaller, you know. So yeah. And remember to sign your paintings with your name and the date, because you won't believe how quickly you forget when you've painted them, you know. So that's just a little tip from me. And other than that, I just want to say thank you again for joining me, and I love you, and I really hope that you paint with me. Like I've said a million times, I'm a good teacher by reminding you to paint and share with me online. Okay, so I'll see you in the next class and on the interwebs.